All who came here were expressing their shock and outrage at what had happened.
Senseless. I was totally shocked. I can hardly talk. I can't even believe it really happened. John Lennon was the greatest person in the world.
I feel like, you know, everything that John Lennon sang about, wrote about the Beatles, just to kill him with a gun is ridiculous.
It's like shooting a friend. You know, it's like a death in the family. And my parents even thought it was hard for them to understand why I was crying. But I love the man. You know.
Norman Reese, ITN, at the late John Lennon's apartment in New York.
Beatlemania, London, 1962. Of the four, Lennon was the rebel, and it was his words that made their music.
Well, she loves you. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves
The phenomenon that inspired hysteria amongst teenaged fans across the globe was cradled in the Cavern Club in Liverpool, near where John himself was born. By the early 60s, the group was travelling worldwide, and at every airport, the same scenes of uncontrolled adulation greeted them. As they moved from concert to concert, police had to be on hand at every venue as often as not to carry away the victims of faintings and exhaustion. By 1965, all four were virtually members of the establishment, as loved by royalty as by their fans. Even the Prime Minister of the day was on Christian name terms at the Variety Club Awards.
I'd just like to say the same as the others. Thanks for the Purple Hearts. Silver, oh yeah. Sorry about that, Harold.
With desperate fans clambering up the gates of Buckingham Palace, the climax of their recognition came with the award of the MBE to each of them. But Lennon, whose rebellious streak was to find greater expression now, was to hand his medal back in protest at the Vietnam War. So, the same year, Lennon made his classic utterance about the Beatles having become more popular than Jesus Christ, a view he felt had been misunderstood.
I wasn't knocking it or putting it down, I was just saying it for the fact. And it is true, especially more for England than here. You know, but I'm not saying that we're better or greater or comparing us with Jesus Christ as a person or God as a thing or whatever it is. You know, I just said what I said and it was wrong or was taken wrong, and now it's all this.
It was perhaps in search of some spiritual dimension that the Beatles flew off to India. In the tranquility of an Indian garden, John Lennon walked apparently finally in peace from the years of Beatlemania. His time with the Maharishi evidently inspired his work for a time, so too did his increasing feeling of frustration with the world as he saw it.
We're going to stay in bed for 7 days, sort of, instead of having a private honeymoon. It's a private protest.
For the violence that's going in the world, you see.
To say,
we feel that instead of making war, it's better to just stay in bed. Let's stay in bed for the spring.
And grow your hair.
Yes.
For peace. Let it grow till peace comes, you know.
Yoko Ono's arrival on the scene led some to believe that she was to be the eventual cause of the Beatles breaking up. But in truth, Lennon seems to have found in her much of what he'd missed in earlier life, with the early tragic death of his mother and the breakup of his family.
Yes, she does.
So, like the others, Lennon was to go his own way, exploring the themes dear to him in numbers like My Mum Is Dead and Working Class Hero. 5 years passed in which he produced little music, but in which he and Yoko started a family. And then, a month ago, this album, with which now he will have to be remembered.
Our life together is so precious. Together we have grown. We have grown.